Like, whenever Sina's intimidating people, and when people are like, yeah, Jews killed Christ, I'd be like, yeah, we did, and Kirk Cameron's next. Back off.
But you did it in a very Jewish way, right? You tricked a Gentile into doing it.
Well, absolutely. You don't want to get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
Pontius Pilate.
Neither did Pilate. He watched him right after, and he said, "These are the Pharisees over here. They're pulling the strings. Watch out! It's going to become a thing."
Barabbas.
Also, how come
he murdered someone 3 days ago? And it's
how come there's no stereotype about the Romans doing that? That's
because he didn't want to do it.
Oh yeah, he got tricked into it.
He was influenced into it. They had a lot of power.
I can't tell you how many times I've been tricked into murdering a hero. I mean, the amount of times I have I don't want to kill this guy, but I guess I got to. And all these people look up to him. This is, oh boy, is this going to cause some problems?
He was like the regional power, but it wasn't like a bunch of Romans lived around there at the time, right? He was kind of ruling the area that was mainly inhabited by the Hebrews, and so he was doing things that he thought would placate that community. If I know my history correctly, or my Bible correctly.
I don't know the full story because I'm not super into fiction, but I I prefer documentaries. I'll tell you about Food Inc. all day, but that The Cove, great movie, but the Bible a little too convoluted.
I think most historians agree that Jesus was an actual historical figure. We're just a little iffy on if he was a magical son of God type character.
Actually, most historians do not agree on that.
Really?
Steve's
because
correct on this.
Because the Horus story in ancient Egyptian is the Jesus story 1,000 years earlier. It is the exact same story.
And it was recycled from Mithras, which was a Mesopotamian legend that became the Egyptian one, that became the Christian one.
And the biggest thing, actually, is that, so this guy is doing all these miracles throughout the land, right? And there's no reports of anyone at the same time of him talking about him. The only reports that, we have from history are from, 100 years later.
Yeah, the one that they have closest to being concurrent with Jesus' life apparently is from Josephus, who's the one that Christians cite the most often, but Josephus wasn't around. He was around 80 years later. And so it's there aren't concurrent ones. And I mean, I'm sure some Christian out there is going to have more sources.
We need Mr. Woodworth Sr. on here to disprove all this nonsense. I feel like if we had Woody's father, he would explain to both of you parasites that Jesus Christ was alive, walking the earth, and doing magic.
What's funny is I know both, all the facts that Steve and Taylor have been rattling off. One. I know, but with bad name recognition. So it's before Jesus there was Horsey
Horus.
Dude. And
there was a horse.
Horsey dude, and then I don't know, Mark before him probably, and
Horus,
there is
Horus
the closest one is Joe. I think he talked about it maybe 80 years afterwards. This is how my head works, and it's awful.
I also like the idea that some people listening are when I said Horus, Horus I believe is Horus.
Yeah,
it's not like Horace Greeley. Horace, just some dude named Horace, just walking around. Also, the biggest one for me, and by the way, every major religion has something like this. Judaism has this also, where there's something that you just accepted as truth, but you don't look at why it was instituted. So in Christianity, I studied this shit in college, which is why I'm not religious anymore. So in Christianity, the reason why they use the Old Testament is because in the time of the Romans, they were murdering all people from new religions. There's this term religio licita, which means legal religion, basically. And so they were like, oh, these Christian people, they're new, we're going to kill them all. And they were like, no, hey, we're just part of the Jews. We're just, we're way back with them. See, we believe in the Old Testament also. And then that's how the Old Testament got adopted.
Jew plus.
Exactly. We're they were the Google Plus of the time.
My favorite historian, Mel Gibson.
His treatise, I believe it was called Sugar Tits.
Yes.
His treatise on how cops affect the Jews.
I will not abide any negative talk in regards to Mel.
Oh boy.
By the way, you sounded a little bit like him just then.
Say it, Taylor. You know you want to say it. Blowjob before that.
I know. I'm not going to say it because it's a meme now.
You want to say it?
Oh, there was a joke that I did. I don't think it's on. I don't know if it's on any of my albums. It bothered people so much because I talked about The Passion and how Mel Gibson. Everybody called him a good Christian for making that movie, but he made $300 million and didn't donate a dime back to the church. I was like, that's not a very good Christian. Excellent Jew, terrible Christian. The problem is that so many people misinterpreted what I was saying. They're like, you're saying Jews are cheap. I'm like, no, I'm saying Jews wouldn't give money to the church. Like, that was the point of the joke. And
or
they're like,
anyone.
oh, yeah, Jews would whore money. Yeah, exactly. So then it didn't work out for me.
Yeah, all that biblical history is super. Like, I believe Jesus actually existed because when you think about it it only seems so crazy now because we're looking back through our own kind of cultural eyes where we think of it as like, yeah, there was one guy back then going around saying he was the Son of God. It's like, no, this was the Bronze Ages. There were 6 people doing that at the same time. Jesus only had 12 followers. There could be a guy, another dude who had like 15 or something. We didn't hear about him because Constantine didn't adopt Christianity or that religion as like the official religion of the Roman Empire. But like, he's not a magic man. Like
there was probably someone in the back of Jesus' speeches being like, ugh, fucking hack.
Yeah.
I saw this speech 3 days ago. 3 days ago, I saw the same speech.
Eventually, Jesus, they're going to figure out that you tell these stories on a hill so that you can hide all the loaves and fishes on the other side.
See, what he does, you see the loaves, but the fish are right behind the loaves.
Methuselah's out there like, oh my God, I saw Horace tell this story.
And you could have ran shit back then if you were good at sleight of hand, right? Penn and Teller go back to the Bronze Age. We're worshiping them today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Behold! You remove your thumb for him?